Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated economist here. Thought I'd talk a little bit about retail sales today. Now, a lot of you know that I work at a local lumberyard hardware store. I do retail sales for a living. And if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you would know that I really kind of follow the lumber industry. I keep a very close eye on it. I was able to accurately predict a lot of the price moves and the inventory levels that were taking place, and was able to help out a lot of people as far as their projects and timing of their projects when it came to the purchases of building supplies. Now, things are very disruptive right now. It is very difficult to try and figure out what it is that's going to be taking place coming into the future. There is a lot of confusion inside of the housing market on which direction prices are going to go, whether inventory levels are going to rise, whether interest rates on mortgages are going to go up or down. There is so much misunderstanding and misinformation and inaccurate interpretation of that information. There is just so much to think about and try to understand. But when it comes to what's going on in the economy, a lot of times you just have to sit back and just look around and see what it is that you are watching. What is it that you actually see taking place? Now, me personally, I watch what's going on at my store. I watch to see who it is that's coming in, the projects that they're working on, how many phone calls we get, and what those phone calls are asking for. I pay attention to everything. I can't even go into a restaurant without looking around the restaurant, seeing who's in there, what age they are, what the food they're ordering, whether there's kids with them. I mean, I pay attention to everything that I look at, in my view, and I kind of relate it to the economy on everything. So when I was at Safeway the other day over at the grocery store, I was just kind of looking around to see who it was that was shopping. And now, granted, it was right around 5 o'clock. It was a little bit before 5. So I'd imagine a lot of people were getting off of work and going to pick up those items that they need to make dinner with, or maybe even just pick up dinner, or whatever it is that they had going on. But I was just walking through the store and I was just thinking, okay, I'm going to see if I can count how many people are 20 years old, or what I would assume would be around 20 years old, young adults. And I saw one person in the store, just one person who was of that 20 to 25 range that I thought was a younger person. Everybody else was much older. And I thought to myself, what is it, just because it's going into dinner time? Or is it my actual location here that's doing it? I mean, what is it that has less young people in this store at this exact moment, and that everybody here is just older? So I thought about that for a little bit, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to see if I can notice this in other places that I go to, and I have. I noticed that there is a much less younger crowd here in my local area than there ever was before. And now I know that the northwest corner of Oregon is becoming a very retirement directed area. A lot of people are coming here to retire. And it's not there's a lot to do here as far as activities for young people. There is a lot of outdoor activities, hunting and fishing, and there's the beach and stuff like that. But it's not being in the Portland area where there's a lot of different activities going on, or a lot of events. And so I see the younger generation kind of leaving out, or leaving this area, and the older population moving in. And on turn from that, I see less economic activity taking place within the building of homes, or not necessarily the building of homes. I shouldn't say that. The improvement of homes is what I should get at. And in the sense that a lot of that had taken place over the last couple of years. I mean, especially right when the pandemic first kicked in, there was so much demand for, especially for the pressure treated lumber. It was just going crazy. But all that has died off. The demand for pressure treated lumber really isn't there. People do come in looking for paint, but the paint supply it's so atrocious right now that it's very difficult to try and find the appropriate base to mix up the colors that the people are looking for. And the only thing that's really left is just the super high-end paint. So, instead of paying $25 a gallon, you end up paying $58 a gallon, and people really don't want to go that high. So it's really leaving out a lot of the sales that would typically happen just simply from the fact that it's not available to buy. This is putting a damper on economic activity. And I see this taking place, like the phone calls even that are coming in. Typically, like 2, 3, 4 years ago, I would get phone calls at least once a day, if not 5 times a day, for people looking for builders or contractors or handymen, like anybody like that. Those phone calls have dropped to like maybe 1 or 2 a week. And that I found very interesting. It's just like, so where is this, where's this demand for these people to work on these homes? Like, where did it go? And so again, I have to think, well, did it get completed? Are people just frustrated with the idea that the supply chain is broken down and they are just not going to be dealing with the supply chain shortages or the availability of material that just isn't there? I mean, somebody says, hey, I need this window replaced, or I would like to have this window replaced, and you tell them, yeah, okay, no problem. We can order you a window, but we won't have it for 2 months. And they're like, no, I don't want it done in 2 months. I want it done now. I'll figure something else out, or I just won't do it. Or this, that's what happens a lot. So the economic activity that is coming from that is dropping off dramatically. And then, so that's just like from the phone calls and from the people walking in. So now I think about it, it's just like, okay, well, what about the people who are not looking to buy items? Maybe it's just going to be more into the experiences, the restaurants, like the gyms, things that don't necessarily require a physical item to purchase, but more of just the experience of being there. And I feel that that's probably going to be more of where money is going to start being spent. Like, everybody who was in fear of inflation, or everybody who is still in fear of inflation, has like prepared for that. Like, they bought the extra canned goods, they've saved, or put their money wherever it is that they're going to put it to. Like, they're fatigued. Like, the idea of like trying to fight inflation is just getting to the point of just like, man, why even bother with this anymore? It's just obvious it's just going to be there. We're going to be spending higher prices on all these goods out there. Let's go experience. Let's go do stuff that's fun. Let's go and enjoy ourselves instead. Maybe we can save a little bit of money by going that route. And that's where I really feel that the retail sales are going to start dying off dramatically. Not only are people just going to say, man, it's too expensive and I don't want it anymore, or I've already loaded up on it, I'm just not into it anymore. I'm going to go off and enjoy myself. The social distancing thing is going to come to an end. The masks are going to come off. The mandates are going to go away. And people are going to want to hang out with each other again. And so that's where I feel like the service industry, the experiences, the traveling, that kind of thing, that's where we're going to start seeing the pickup taking place. But we're going to start seeing fall in the items that people purchase to try and enjoy themselves at home, because they're not going to be at home anymore. They're not going to want to be there for the next, few months. As things start to open up and we go into summer, they're going to be getting out of their house and moving on and doing things that they enjoy in life. So, uneducated economist, you guys let me know.